Hi, I'm Katie Hobbs, Secretary of State and candidate for governor. Over the past several weeks, I've heard from many of you about my response to the discrimination that Tanya Adams faced as an employee in the legislature. I understand that my response fell short of taking real accountability. Please allow me to say this clearly and unequivocally. I apologize to Ms. Adams.
I am terrified. I am here because I believe it is my civic duty to tell you what happened to me while Brett Kavanaugh and I were in high school. I have described the events publicly before. I summarized them in my letter to Ranking Member Feinstein and again in a letter to Chairman Grassley. I understand and appreciate the importance of your hearing from me directly about what happened to me and the impact that it has had on my life and on my family.
I'm truly sorry for the real harm that I caused Ms. Adams and her family. My response to the jury verdict was short-sighted, unnecessarily defensive, and failed to meet the moment. I know that the disappointment felt by many Arizonans didn't start with the verdict in this case. What Ms. Adams experienced is yet another example of the systemic inequities and racism that have long permeated every aspect of our lives, too often in ways that are invisible to people like me.
In the summer of 1982, like most summers, I spent most every day at the Columbia Country Club in Chevy Chase, Maryland, swimming and practicing diving. One evening that summer, after a day of diving at the club, I attended a small gathering at a house in the Bethesda area. There were 4 boys I remember specifically being at the house.
I recognize that my experience and understanding of racism has sometimes been too narrow. I've missed personal and leadership opportunities to fight harder for racial equity. I am committed to growing, learning, and holding myself accountable.
But the details about that night that bring me here today are the ones I will never forget. They have been seared into my memory and have haunted me episodically as an adult. When I got to the small gathering, people were drinking beer in a small living room, family room type area on the first floor of the house. I drank 1 beer. Brett and Mark were visibly drunk.
My Catholic faith taught me to fight for justice and inspired me to serve, first as a social worker and now as a public servant. But for too long, I've allowed myself to only show up where it's comfortable. I know that the only way to earn your trust is to not only continue to reflect upon my past actions, but to put in the work. Thank you.
Subscribe to the Dummy Funnies now!